I chose hope and powerful because he like God gives you hope in everything you do. Even like know that you need a shoulder. The shoulder's always there. You just can't see it. And powerful because he can really show you some powerful signs to get your life in order.
I didn't make God look more feminine or masculine. I didn't focus on the face. I think it was just the image, you know, and a lot of it's influenced by what you see in the media, what you see in film. So usually I would assume, you know, God is someone in a loose, modest garb, has long hair, and overall a happy person.
I picture God as a man, angry, and he is reaching down to the people, and the people have their hands raised to him, begging for help, forgiveness, giving praise, and he has his hand out to help or prosecute the people, and he's also holding a lightning bolt which can be used to protect or to discipline the people.
So for some reason, I thought when I think of God, we create our own meaning, our own ideas of what God is. So if God is some form of creator, aren't we in some way God?
Right.
That's why I drew you. I separated it kind of from, instead of being separate from human, it is human.
I was always taught that when you think about God, God is about love. God is about what is good and what is right.
Just because I don't know what God is, you know, I mean, conceptually I can understand it. Like maybe I can understand, you know, the boogeyman or the Easter Bunny. And I don't mean that as an insult to people who believe in God, and so I apologize if I've offended anybody. But things can arise from, I think, our imagination and take on a power that is beyond the physical or, you know, the metaphysical. And so this, I don't know, it's just formless, seems everywhere. If there is a spirit, I can't put my finger on it, so I think it looks something like mist.
I say both because I was brought up Christian and I do know the values of God, having God in your life. And I'm spiritual because I see things that shouldn't be there. I can see people that crossed over.
Wouldn't say I belong to any religion,
Okay.
but I do believe in, you know, spirituality, in goodness, morality. When I go into topics of, you know, does God exist, I often say I'm neutral. I don't believe that there's a God. You know, I don't follow any specific teachings.
I feel like God shouldn't have a gender because in some religions, God is portrayed as a man and men feel like they're superior to women. But they're not superior, we're all equal.
Personally, I don't think it should be anything. Like, because I believe in this higher power and there is no visual for me, I just want it to be that way. It's almost like an energy. God, it's all like, I think it's all kind of like brainwashing. It's kind of sexist. For this image to be a man, like I grew a man. Why didn't I grow a woman? Because I grew up seeing a man.
We're putting him in a gender, and so I think in a sense it also makes us believe, you know, if he's a male, then it's the male who created the world. It's right. So there's a dominance play there. So that's why I like to leave it with male or female. I like people to question that.
But I don't see much compassion in God, and I think compassion, like in the stories of God that I can think of off the top of my head, it doesn't seem very compassionate. And I think that women are more compassionate. So a being who lacks compassion, I wouldn't associate that with the woman.
People worship so many different things. What if God was an animal or like a dog or something? Like, who's to say? That's what I'm saying. For me, religion is just really weird, and I don't really want to consider myself like a religious person, but I'm not an atheist, and I do believe in God because that's how I was raised, and this is the image that I grew up seeing. So it's just like, okay,
we're 93% similar to a chimpanzee and a bonobo, but I don't think there's too many chimpanzees wondering about these metaphysical issues. So something in the human imagination, which is distinct, must come up with that.
Anybody can be God. God could just be your inner self, your inner thoughts, right? There isn't one God. Everybody has their own God. And it's not something that you can prove.
I saw my grandmother, well, yeah, couple. I saw my Aunt Louise while I was having a nightmare, but this was like months after she died. I saw my Aunt Louise while I was having a nightmare, and then once she came to me while I was having the nightmare, the whole dream switched, and I didn't even have to wake up. 3 days after my grandmother Lillian's wake, I saw her face, and I was no longer afraid of the dark. And like while I lived in Queens, it was like I would usually stay up really late and cut the light on while everybody sleep, and then my Aunt Lillian came to me like 3 days after her wake, and then I was no longer afraid of the dark. I don't know, I just felt sort of protected by something that I couldn't explain.
No, I keep waiting to meet a ghost, but I never have. I mean, I feel like I would like to, because if I met a ghost, he'd be friendly. Like, I don't think I'd meet a demon. And if I was a demon, I feel like I would eventually like get him to chill out and we could like hang out. But I've never had an experience like that is metaphysical or otherworldly. I haven't. I mean, I've been in prayerful states, I guess, but I've never had an episode that said, whoa, that's God or something. I've never. Like, if people are meeting demons, it's a projection of their imagination. And so it reflects, like, there's some lovely people that they won't meet a demon because their mind's not projecting their negativity. I don't know. I'm making all this up.